Chapter 6. Delicate Reunion. Against the fiery ball of the sun, a pelican swoops into the glistening reflection of the sun off the ocean to catch a fish. The pelican rises to sit on the surface. It tosses its head back in quick jerks to align the fish's head down its throat, then swallows with contentment. Katherine smiles at the memories triggered by the pelican's breakfast ritual. She rocks slowly in her father's chair on the porch of the Stillwell home. Erric sits on the steps by her side. So I guess we just wait, Erric says with resignation. Sometimes we don't have much choice, she replies. Erric studies her as she gazes into the distance and is surprised to notice a detail which had previously escaped him. You're still wearing the crucifix I gave you. I've never taken it off. Confused, Eric's eyes dart around, searching for answers. He tentatively ventures, Kath, why did you leave? Katherine resolutely sits up straight and sets her chin. It was better for everybody. Erric chews on this, but is not satisfied. Wasn't better for me, Kath. Ricky, you have no idea. Kath, try me. There are certain things a young girl should be ashamed of. What could you be ashamed of, Kath? Katherine closes her eyes and raises her face to the sun in an effort to let the warmth on her cheeks instill calmness. I wish certain things had not happened. Mystified, Erric stumbles out another question, such as, Katherine takes a long breath and sighs. Even a good thing can have bad consequences. Please, give me a clue, Kath. Erric gently persists. A new life can upset everything. But people start new lives all the time and end up happy. I'm talking about a new life in the form of a baby, Ricky. Huh? Katherine levels her eyes at Erric and spills it out. Erric, I got pregnant. A shocked Erric reacts. Geez, I'm sorry. Who did that to you? By now, Katherine's face goes slack. She breaks into tears, sobs, and responds, It's complicated. Feeling helpless, Erric clams up. A woman in tears can be a deep mystery, and him not having a clue is downright dangerous. He figures no words are the right words in this situation. He retreats into his own thoughts. Who did this to her? Some landlubber city guy? Did he rape her? I'll kill the SOB. Catbait seems to appear from nowhere. Pembrose got Jackman. A fuming Erric waits on the Coast Guard station pier. The Intrepid finally slides into its slip and ties up. Pembroke strides down the plank well ahead of two sailors who flank Jack. I'm too furious to even speak to your brother, Pembroke bellows. Erric stands his ground. The detail accompanying Jack catches up to Pembroke, who commands them, That will be all. Dismissed. Erric shoots eye daggers at Jack, who hangs his head to hide. What kind of moron thinks he can take on the Bahamian Coast Guard's 50 caliber machine guns with a couple of pea shooters? What's he doing with these things anyway? Erric shakes his head. Got me. This could have been an international incident. Pembroke grabs Eric's shoulder. I've got Bahamian friends in uniform and your brother on the other. I want no part of being in the middle. Erric fights for his composure, reminding himself that Pembroke's ranting at Jack. I could impound the sunny bays, but I know you need to eat. Now, before I go change my mind, dismissed. Erric drives stone-faced along US 1 while a silent Jack stares out the passenger window. Jack's expression brightens. I got an idea. We could make a lot of money and buy more traps, man. What the heck are you talking about, Jack? Jack directs an all-knowing smile at his brother. It would just be catching a few square groupers. Erric shoots him a puzzled glance. Square grouper, Jack clarifies. You know, bales of grass. Erric whips his head in Jack's direction. Pot? Jack nods his head nonchalantly. Erric pulls the car over in the middle of the Vaca Cut Bridge. Get out, he commands Jack. They both exit the car and meet at the guardrail overlooking the swiftly moving water driven by tide change. In a surprise maneuver, Erric throws Jack over the railing and into the water 15 feet below. The swift current carries him far from the bridge. Jack finally breaks the surface sputtering. Erric yells down to him, "No square grouper, ever!" Jack pitifully whines from the distance, "Only trying to help." In the lull between breakfast and lunch at Good Springs Bar and Grill, Jazzy surveys the few lingering guests and determines that everyone seems happy. She nods to herself and pushes through the double swinging doors into the kitchen to find the dishwashers catching up from the breakfast rush. "You boys are doing good," Jazzy compliments the two newly hired teens toiling in the kitchen. She purrs over her shoulder as she retreats into the dining room. "Keep up the hard work." The teens study her figure, swaying seductively as she walks away. "She's hot," exclaims the surfer type with sun-bleached hair. "Yeah, maybe she'll give us benefits if we please her," suggests his dark-haired buddy. They mischievously smile at each other. Outside the kitchen door, Jazzy surveys the bar and watches Erric interact with a fellow lobsterman. When their conversation ends, she moves in. "You doing okay here, Erric? Another beer?" Erric shrugs. The bar front door opens to reveal a soggy Jack, who spots Erric and Jazzy. Jack humbles himself before his brother. "I had time to think, and the water woke me up. I hear you loud and clear. We good, man?" Erric looks Jack up and down. "I think you're all wet." Jack's face falls. Erric bursts out in laughter. "Had you, didn't I?" Visibly relieved, Jack catches on that Erric is teasing. "Thanks for that, I think." Erric continues laughing while Jack's chagrin fades. "Jazzy, a beer for Jack, please." When he sits down, Jack leaves a seat in between him and Erric. "So let's talk seriously about making some money, Jack. Legal money, not just for traps, but also for Mom's fibrosis operation." They both reflect for a moment. A few sips later, Jack pipes up. "In my travels, I got hold of some Colombian." Erric scowls. "Coffee." Erric chuckles. Jack continues. "It's the best coffee you've ever tasted, especially made with a French press." "Coffee's coffee. What's the big deal?" Jack argues. "You have to taste it to understand." Erric frowns. "So how does it make us money?" "We make runs to Colombia, sell it here with a good markup." "Who do we sell it to?" "We could sell it to Catbait, but he'd probably spill it." Jack continues as Erric chuckles. "We sell it to anybody who likes excellent coffee. We could even open up a shop and sell it as a premium coffee for triple the price." "I don't think there's a market for expensive coffee," Erric objects. "Anybody want to talk beer?" Jazzy offers as she leans on the counter close to Erric. Jack pretends to be interested in something outside the window. Javier and a couple of buddies approach the bar, but Jazzy stops them in their tracks. "What are you guys doing here?" Slightly taken back, Javier replies, "We're here to drink beer." "You'll have to drink a whole lot to make up for the business I'm losing." Her words perplex Javier. She continues her outrage. "You Cubans cut into the local catch. Less lobster, less money for locals, less beer I sell. Get it?" From across the room, Deputy Sheriff Larry Beaker hears the tone in Jazzy's voice. Trying to appear casual, he draws closer and sidles into the conversation. "You okay, Jazzy?" He smiles at Javier and company. "I'm fine." Jazzy wants nothing to do with his attempts to placate her and stomps away. Jazzy bursts into the kitchen, startling the small staff. "Island beaners!" She turns her glare at the two teens washing dishes and frying potatoes. "Somebody needs to do something to run them off." Out in the dining area, Beaker quips, "Our little gardenia, easily bruised." Jack's puzzled, so Beaker offers an explanation. "Some lobstermen don't like the Cubans abandoning the crowded waters of Miami and moving down here. The Cubans compete for the same scarce lobsters as the locals."